What is going on, everybody? Princess Matty here. Welcome to a video format I haven't done in a while, which is a gameplay commentary video. The gameplay means nothing. It's probably just going to be Call of Duty gameplay or something. But I wanted to make a video talking about something that has been permeating the gaming discourse and internet discourse for a while, and moral discourse for a while as well, and that is the Hogwarts Legacy game that, as of recording, came out. It comes out in like 15 minutes, actually. Um, this February the 9th, 2023. But I wanted to talk about the transphobia and boycotts aspect of Hogwarts Legacy and the massive amount of discourse that has permeated the space around this game in particular, as well as J.K. Rowling and boycotts in general of companies and things and stores and such. A little bit about me if you're new to the channel, you don't know who I am. My name's Matty. Hi, how you doing? I'm a trans woman. Came out in 2012. I am very active in the trans community. I volunteer for trans rights advocacy groups. I volunteer for trans lifelines. I am a very trans. I am a champion for trans rights. Make no mistake on that. I am as trans as it gets. It does not give me like armor, because of course trans people can be transphobic. However, I'm using that as a disclaimer to say that I am trans, and that is the position that I'm coming at this from. This is something that I've struggled with for a long time, even ever since I first came out. I used to be that person that would. It used to be that. I used to be that person that would boycott just about everything. When I first came out, I boycotted Hobby Lobby, I boycotted Chick-fil-A, you know, anything that I knew was going to be homophobic and I would be giving my money to, I boycotted it. And over the years, over the last, 11 years at this point, I have gone back and forth on this so many times, it is unfathomable. It would be no stretch to say that this is the single most difficult ethical dilemma that I have ever faced in my entire life, is giving money to something that I know will be used to actively hurt me and make the community that I am a part of worse off than it would be otherwise. The idea of that is so sickening and so difficult that I find it so it's impossible to reconcile. It's something that is so hard, and there's so many differing opinions on so many different sides that it's difficult for me to reach a place where I feel comfortable on one side or the other. Even now, writing this, reading this, talking about this. I shouldn't say writing this. There's no script. I'm just talking off the cuff. But it is something that even right now I have an opinion. Yesterday I was a little bit more towards the other side of that opinion. So it's something that I still struggle with. But I just kind of wanted to add my thoughts of where I am 10 years after struggling with it at this point, and add my hat into the discourse on this, because I'm thinking about playing the game on the channel, and I would like to give people something to, if there is backlash of a trans woman playing this game on their YouTube channel, to look to and say, hey, this is the video that you can be sent to answer how I feel about this topic, should I choose to play the game on the channel. And how I feel about this topic just in general as a video anyway. Um, Specifically with Harry Potter, a little background. If you don't know who J.K. Rowling is, um, and you're on the internet, I don't know how you have avoided them. Congratulations, you're about to have your life ruined. J.K. Rowling, in my opinion, is one of the most monstrous, evil human beings to have ever existed on the face of the planet. Genuinely a monster. Um, she's what's known as a TERF, a trans exclusionary radical feminist, and to boil it down into the most simple terms without having to go into some gender uh, discussion that will last way longer than I want it to. Um, she basically ascribes to the position of trans women are not women in the same aspect that cis women are women. And because of their different lived experiences, because of our different lived experiences to cis women, we do not deserve the same rights and the same privileges that are afforded to cis women, such as specifically being in cis women's spaces, women's prison, women's bathroom, women's locker room, etc., etc. Those types of things. Um, and that the lived experiences of a cis woman are different than the lived experiences of a trans woman, and therefore a trans woman can never be a full woman in air quotes. Um, and again, I'm not gonna get into it too deeply, but in my opinion, that is the most asinine and backwards logic imaginable. There's many, many more videos that you can look up discussing why um, trans women are women, and women is an umbrella term covering everyone who identifies as woman, genuinely and realistically. Um, but again, if you don't know who J.K. Rowling is, that's the most basic TLDR. She's a TERF. She is a trans women aren't women individual, and that's who that is. If you don't know who that is, you've been caught up to speed. Again, very simplified. Um, and J.K. Rowling is also the author of the critically acclaimed Harry Potter book franchise. I've never read the books, never read them, have no interest in reading them. However, there were some very successful movies that were made. I enjoyed most of them. The earlier ones were better. Um, I had no idea who J.K. Rowling was when I watched the movies, and I enjoyed them. I also played the video games. I probably plan on playing the original PC Sorcerer's Stone video game that I enjoyed a hell of a lot as a child on the channel at some point. Um, I have a very fond, affectionate relationship with the Harry Potter franchise. I enjoyed it a lot as a kid, and I just kind of am apathetic to it as an adult. I don't hate it. I just don't care about it. It doesn't interest me a lot, which is fine. Um, but it's just not something that is in my life a lot right now. But with all of that disclaimer out of the way, um, there's this new game, Hogwarts Legacy, and it is new Harry Potter game. Wonderful, excellent. Um, and it is the moral conundrum that is presenting itself here is a lot of people are Harry Potter fans, gaming fans, and this game looks baller. Whether it will be or not, I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the discourse about it enough, but it's already broken records on Steam. It's already broken records in sales, and it is, you know, just the premise of it. It's an open world RPG where you play as your own character in Hogwarts. Like, the idea of that is so unique and so interesting that it's worth considering. However, the The controversy is if you purchase this game, you're giving money to J.K. Rowling, right? She owns the intellectual property because she wrote the books. She owns the intellectual property of Harry Potter. And so by purchasing a Harry Potter product, you are directly giving money to a known turf who is going to take that money and give it to anti-trans hate groups, political lobbies, etc., etc. And the moral conundrum is, can you play this game without being a bad person, without being a transphobe? Um, it is it is a very difficult question to answer because it, it, on the surface it's like, yeah, you're buying a game and you're sending money to somebody who is going to make your life worse. Like, if you cut and dry it that way, sure. And if that's the decision that you make, sure, I won't buy the game because it's going to be supporting J.K. Rowling. Sure, I 100% agree. But there's more to it for me. First of all, I haven't played the game. Obviously, I haven't done anything with it. Apparently, there's a trans character in the game, and apparently they're actually well written. I don't know how much that is true or not. Their name is Sorona Ryan, which is, you know, rough. Yikes. The name is a little on the nose, but if you look back at a lot of names that J.K. Rowling has written in Harry Potter specifically, Cho Chang is the Asian character. I think like one of the black characters is named Shacklebolt, which is like yikes, and like the goblins are like stereotypical Jewish caricatures, and they're like all bankers and stuff. Like, it gets really rough if you look at it, and it is really bad. Um, but that's just kind of a thing that's permeated the universe of Harry Potter. Um, and so the inclusion of a trans character in the game, I think, is excellent, despite the name being a little shitty and on the nose. Um, and now J.K. Rowling now has to wrestle with the fact that there's a trans character in her universe, which I think is excellent. Um, in addition, there has apparently been no direct influence from J.K. Rowling in the actual creation of the video game itself. So it is apparently devoid of anything that is hers and is more a representation of the developers and the designers and the world team and the lead and all those people actually working on the game to create a product that people would enjoy. So, with all of that said, let's actually talk about the boycotts and why I don't think that they ever work. Just on a more general sense with Hogwarts in the umbrella of boycotts in general. Um, they're they're not very effective in my opinion. I have never once, I cannot off the top of my head think of a time in my lifetime where a group has boycotted a thing, and because of that boycott, the thing that they have been boycotting chose to change their opinion, change their views, change the way that they do business, and the effect is so minimal and so irrelevant that it literally would do nothing in this situation. In fact, it might actually do the opposite. Um, will boycotting fix this issue? No. J.K. Rowling is a billionaire, literally a billionaire. Um, choosing to boycott this game will make you feel better. Sure. It will send a message. Sure. Is it the right thing to do for some people? Sure. But it's not going to stop J.K. Rowling from making millions and billions of dollars on book sales and movie sales and merchandise sales and and sales from from tickets to Hogwarts Land at Universal Studios. J.K. Rowling is still, even if even if even if this video game sold 0 copies and made a statement that that J.K. Rowling is a horrible person, she would still be a TERF, and she would still send money to anti-LGBTQ, anti-trans organizations, specifically to make our lives hell. J.K. Rowling is always going to be a terrible person unless she looks inside of herself and changes herself on a personal level. Boycotting her shit won't do anything. In addition, on a broader sense, there's a saying called there's a saying of there's no ethical consumption under capitalism. We live in a capitalist society. Every single thing that you purchase in under capitalism in some way, shape, or form will make its way to somebody who you find abhorrent in some way. Do you own a phone? If you own a phone, if you're watching this on a phone, the cobalt in your phone is mined in Africa with child slave labor. Um, there's there's so many examples of ones I learned just today from watching another YouTuber, um, of things that you consume every day that are where your money directly goes to supporting homophobia, racism, anti-Semitism, transphobia, any number of things that you do not agree with. I do not agree with. Richard Wagner, incredible composer, super anti-Semitic. Uber. Have you taken an Uber somewhere before? Have you ordered Uber Eats? Uber, the CEO of Uber, as far as I'm aware, still, at least I know there was controversy before of them being a big Trump supporter and being a big fan of what he believed in. Um, there's the old 1930s Disney cartoons that are super anti-Semitic, that literally have Jews being literal Jews being the antagonists in certain cartoons. Um, Marvel, Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby. I could go on. Um, there is no ethical way to purchase anything under capitalism. If you fill your car up with gas, you're you're directly supporting the oil industry, which is killing our planet and is supporting countries like Saudi Arabia, which routinely murder gay people on a daily basis. This is this is almost small in comparison. Um, and I understand how it's so difficult. I understand wanting to do something, and again, it's a personal choice. Um, I understand wanting to boycott these kind of things makes you feel like you're doing something, like you're making a difference, like you're standing up against J.K. Rowling or whatever. And speaking out against J.K. Rowling is excellent, you know? Using every single opportunity to tell people and let people know how horrible of a person J.K. Rowling is and how much we need the death of the author in this situation where we can talk about Harry Potter and the game and the universe as a whole without having to deal with this vitriolic, evil, awful creator, person, human being who genuinely should not be a part of this universe anymore because of how awful they are. And being able to separate the two, the work from the creator, is something that is difficult, but it's something that we as a culture and as a society need to do, I feel. Um, if if in my situation, in my situation, and where I kind of stand on it is, if you are an individual who wants to not play the game or would feel bad about playing the game because of J.K. Rowling being an awful person, I would encourage others to rethink their decision about getting the game and to not blame people for buying it, however. I would encourage you to maybe educate people on possibly not buying the game. However, don't flame people who do want to buy the game. Um, if if somebody makes the decision that they want to buy the game, then say, okay, I respect your decision. I hope you enjoy the game. I hope you have a fun time. You know, are you transphobic if you buy the new Hogwarts Legacy video game? No, I don't think so. I think that there is room to separate the author from the work and to make sure that the J.K. Rowling goes down in history as a monster that she is, and that her work can be separated from her in a meaningful and impactful way. Um, However, buying the game does put money into the hands of a transphobe and the hands of a turf. Um, and so, at the end of this long video, I would like to kind of, I would like to maybe make the suggestion that should you choose to buy the game, I will probably be buying the game myself. Should you choose to buy the game, I I encourage you to donate to trans causes, to speak out for trans rights, to accept and understand that this conversation is difficult and it is something that we struggle with every day. Um, but just the fact that this is being talked about in such a large capacity with such a spotlight on this subject and on this conversation is, I feel like, a good thing, because generally in society, trans people feel ignored and like society doesn't care about us because society, by and large, is transphobic and doesn't care about us. And so it is almost a good thing to see so much discussion um, coming out of this. And so I would like to end the video just by saying, hey, you have the choice to buy this game. You have the choice to play this game. And if you choose to play the game, you're not transphobic, and I hope you enjoy it. But just remember, you can always be supporting trans causes in other ways and be speaking out against people like J.K. Rowling every day. So, with that, I'm going to end the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like and please be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe if you did. And I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.